Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're putting two Canadian resource companies under the microscope,
That's right. We've got Canadian North Resources Inc., ticker CNRI, and Power Metals Corp., PWM.
and we're looking at their financials up to April 28th, 2025. So market cap, revenue, cash, debt, the works. Plus, who actually owns these companies?
Yep, and our mission really is to sift through all this data, find the key insights about their financial health and ownership setup.
Okay, let's jump in. Market capitalization first.
Sure, so CNRI's market cap, it saw a pretty noticeable shift between January and April this year. As of late April, it landed at about 113.2 million.
Okay. And how does PWM compare there?
Well, we don't have the same January to April track for PWM in this data, but putting them side by side as of April 28th is definitely relevant for comparison.
Gotcha. Now, what about revenue per share and book value per share? I see CNRI marked as higher on both.
That's right. Higher revenue per share usually points to, well, generating more income for each share out there. And higher book value suggests more net assets backing each share. Seems positive for CNRI on the surface.
But I sense a but coming.
Hey, well, yeah. When you look at actual profitability, EBITDA, operating income, free cash flow, both companies are actually in negative territory right now.
Okay. So CNRI might be pulling in more per share, but neither is turning a profit based on these metrics at this point.
Exactly. That higher revenue isn't translating into positive earnings for either of them just yet.
Okay, let's pivot to cash and liabilities. CNRI has more cash per share. That sounds good.
It does, but they also carry higher short-term liabilities, bills due soon, essentially.
And PWM.
PWM has lower total cash per share, but on the flip side, lower liabilities too.
So it's like CNRI has more in the bank, maybe, but also more immediate bills knocking at the door.
That's a good way to put it. And those higher short-term liabilities for CNRI, especially combined with negative cash flow, that's certainly something to keep an eye on.
Makes sense.
Okay.
Now, the ownership part sounds really interesting. Big contrast here.
Oh, definitely. It's quite stark, actually. For CNRI, insiders or major long-term holders have locked up about 65.4% of the shares. That's closely held.
Wow, okay. So only about 34.6% is free float, meaning available for the public to easily trade.
Precisely. Now compare that to PWM. It's almost the reverse, only 11.58% closely held,
Meaning,
meaning a huge 88.42% is free float. So way more of PWM's shares are out there trading on the open market.
so what does that generally indicate? High insider ownership versus high free float?
Well, high insider ownership like CNRI's could suggest strong belief from management or founders, maybe stability, but it can also mean lower liquidity, fewer shares trading hands day to day.
Right. Harder to buy or sell large amounts quickly without affecting the price.
Potentially, yeah. And PWM's high free float. That could mean more liquidity, easier trading, but maybe the price is more sensitive to general market swings and sentiment because ownership is so spread out.
Okay. And there's a mention of assets, too.
Just briefly, the data suggests CNRI has a larger overall asset base compared to Power Metals Corp.
All right, let's try to wrap this up then. Key differences. CNRI looks stronger on paper for things like revenue and book value per share, has more cash per share, more assets overall.
But carries more short-term debt and, crucially, has much less stock available for public trading due to that high insider ownership.
Whereas PWM has weaker per share financials currently, less cash.
But also less debt, and importantly, a much, much larger percentage of its shares are freely traded by the public.
So quite different profiles.
Absolutely. So for you listening, the takeaway isn't just the numbers, but thinking about how these differences, the financials, the debt levels, and who owns the stock might shape their futures.
Yeah, like what does that high free float for PWM really mean for its responsiveness to news versus CNRI's potentially more anchored position with its insiders?
Exactly. It paints a nuanced picture. Two companies, same sector, but operating with very different financial realities and shareholder structures. Definitely something to